Welcome back to Griffin Indiana 22 for episode 6 with me, MrSealyp. We're back, and as I said, I was going to use the equipment that was provided for the baling contract I got in the last episode to help me clear up the bales from my previous baling contracts. So this is all of them, 16, is that right? 9 and 7, yeah. Because we've got 2 down there, haven't we? Down at the main store. So I'm going to take these and put them on our plot of land. We're going to look at putting a shelter building one. Since I last saw you though, I've been moving equipment around, getting it ready for doing contracts, and I've had some more contracts pop up. So I have taken the liberty of obviously taking them on. I've got 2 baling contracts now. The one for all the big boys' toys, and then I've got another one, that one's for silage bales. I've got another one for doing hay bales, which gave me a lot of the same equipment, but a tedder. And also, the baler is a square baler, a tow behind one. So that's also got an auto load trailer, which means I can move my square bales as well. I've got harvest contracts that's come up for sugar beet on field 9, so I'm going to do that. I did have another cotton contract pop up. That's not a cotton contract, that's a corn one, but I did have a cotton one. And Niall from the railroad contacted me to say there may be the issue may have arisen because if you're running Open Gardens by Tana, Open Gardens puts cotton into pallets. So the contracts, as they sort of get spat out, it registers that you can deliver them. So the cotton contract says to be delivered to Mount Vernon, Illinois. So I thought, okay, I know what I'll do. I'll come out, I'll deselect it, and we'll come back in. As soon as I came back in, that contract vanished. It disappeared. Now, whether it will come back again, with a delivery point to the spinnery or not, I don't know. But what I'm going to do is use the same equipment for that contract to do that contract. Difference is those will be silage, that'll be hay. We'll see if we've got any left over. I'm going to take these and put them on my property. I'm also going to use, like I said, the square auto load trailer, the auto load trailer for square bales, and move my other bales. And then I'll go back and grab the last couple of bales because I think unfortunately the square bales are in the way at the moment of me moving them. I've still got those 3 cotton bales sitting at the spinnery. I got clobbered, if you didn't see last episode, I got clobbered because you can't deliver cotton bales to Mount Vernon. So I had to sell them to the spinnery, take a hit on failing the contract. But that was a fairly substantial hit. But I do have 3 bales and I think they're totaling about 15,000 litres of cotton, which could bring us back up to where we were financially, hopefully. So I'm going to drop this off. And as I said, this episode we're going to get to use the big boys' toys. I'm looking forward to using the self-propelled Vermeer. We've also got the Krona Big M450. Obviously the second contract for hay, it's given us a second one of those. It's given us a second fence. So that's why I'm using this fence here. Another fence up there already, I think. Or did I leave it? No, actually. This one might need to go up there. I think the other one might still be over at the store. So we'll drop these off. I've got an idea of the shelter I want to put in. It's going to cost me 10 grand. So what I might do is wait till I finish these contracts and then we'll put the shelter in, I think. Am I going to get both the baling contracts done in this episode? Potentially. It depends. We can use the Krona Big M in its speed configuration if we wanted to. If I did want to speed things up ever so slightly. Let's whiz into here. Now, our plot of land, let's open the map, is, I mean, we're probably, that little road is about halfway between. So what I might do is just put them on this bit of open ground here, because I am planning on potentially buying this plot as well. Not yet, but I will do. And that gives me a bit of room to put my shelter in, and then we can decide what we're going to do with vehicles, what we're going to do. Like I said, I'm still going to stay at the motel for the time being until I can decide what building I want to put on here. We also want a silo and various different things, so I think that's probably about right. Let's unload, which I'm going to want to drive forward as I go. I've never had a huge amount of success doing this. Let's go back as far as we can to about there. Let's unload and drive forward as we go, and we shouldn't have a problem with the stack going Pete Tong. But we'll see. It might still go a bit Pete Tong. I have to say, I'll take that. Right, so that's those moved. Oh yeah, the other one's over there, you can just about see it. So I'm going to load up the square bales, get those on. Actually, might do that later on. We're going to need this loader up at the other contract. I can turn it off now. Yeah, we'll move the square bales later on. I might even end up moving those square bales off camera. I've got to remember not to complete the contract because I still need the equipment. So I've got to make sure I move those bales before I complete the contract. I'll see up the fields in just a moment. We'll get the Corona Big M going. I'm going to cut both fields with that. So the big field, what we got, 30, I want to say 33 and 31, I think, are the two fields we're doing. Could be wrong. Let's open them up again. Yeah, 33 and 31, they're both flashing, aren't they? Yeah, that'll do. Cool. I keep looking for, if I go straight up here, up Mumford Farms Road, for a shortcut, and you can kind of get through the trees. It's not ideal, and if you've got anything with kind of high sides like caught in branches, you're better off just going the roadway. At some point, if you buy a plot of land with some of the trees on, you could clear a path through, which will give you a shortcut through off of Mumford Farms Road rather than going all the way around the outside. But again, that would be your choice. We are going to whiz around. I just want to, like I say, if you missed the last episode, go back and watch it. It's brilliant. We have a look around the scrapyard. I think I'm going to put an offer on. That's what I'll say, the Jeep. But I do need to make sure the rest of those bales sell, and we get the contract money for this. Those Jeeps are going for about 17, 18 grand. So I'm wondering if I can offer Mr. Webb 15, whether he'd take 15 grand for his one. Probably needs a bit of work, it's a bit dirty, needs a clean up and stuff as well, so maybe 15 seems fair, doesn't it? I'm not ripping him off. So yeah, you can see the 3 cotton bales there. Those are left over from the contract. So hopefully any cotton contracts moving forward, it does mean I've got that situation of I can't use open gardens on here. I've got the fruit greenhouses for doing melons or watermelons, like I said, but I can't use open gardens if I want the deliveries to work for cotton. It's a trade-off. If I get to a point where I think, okay, I'm probably not going to do any more cotton contracts, then I guess I could put them back on again. There's the equipment for doing this field, field 31. That's the one that's going to be hay, and the one over here is the one that's going to be silage. Whichever one over. So I see you're there in a minute, and I always do this, don't I? Now, as you can see when I did the contract on this one, I cut quite a way outside the boundary to gain as much as I possibly could. I'm going to do the same here as well. I'm going to cut as much as I can around the outside. I will windrow up as much as I can. Now, this does windrow anyway, which I won't need to for silage bales, but because we've got the windrower for the hay contract, I can probably use that to tidy up a little bit. So I've got this already set to swathing, at least I think I have. So I need to double check just to make sure. Again, never assume anything. Yep, swath dropping, I did already do it, that's good. Turn that off. Let's start it up. Let's drop it down. I will go as far out to the boundary as I can and cut what I can. Those coffin fits, man. Whoa. So yeah, I'll cut out as far as I can get. And then if I need to move some onto the field, I will. I mean, we're right in the boundary there. Sometimes I won't let you. I might be able to get further out before it tells me. Yeah, see, that stopped cutting now on the outside, which means I've reached my limit. I think that's going to be where it is. Just inside that boundary, yeah. We'll see how we are at the top and bottom of the field. Now again, if you are aware of this, great. If you're not, great. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. I'm just, again, I do this. Yep, gone over a little bit too far again. It's alright. It's all good. So, if you are using this, and this isn't a mod, this is standard, on PlayStation, if I do L1 and double click, it kind of raises that up, which allows you to keep cutting, but you can cut to the speed of the vehicle. Come over too far again. Some bits I have to come back over and redo, but it means I can cut a lot quicker if I want to. You don't have to, I know I've shown it before, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to, that's absolutely fine. If I raise it, and then lower it all back down again, it puts it back, so it will go back to the 15 mile an hour speed, which we'll hit momentarily. There we go. So the question is, how far at the end will I get away with? Okay, not as far. Let's go back a little bit. Let me cut there. Okay, so I kind of got my line where I can cut there. Let's go a little bit as well. Back over. There we go. Just gives me a bit extra, and if it gives me 3 or 4 extra bales overall, then I'll take it. That's brilliant. That's extra bales for me at the end of the contract. Try and keep that. There we go. Perfect. Right. Now, I can't remember who sent me the video clip of the Vermeer self-propelled baler, and it was, I can't remember which Vermeer it was, but one of the owners of Vermeer now, one of the sons. And when they were testing out the new self-propelled baler, they had a challenge to bale 50 bales in 50 minutes. I think it's 50 minutes, and they absolutely nailed it. I mean, they had time left, I think, as well. 50 bales in 50 minutes, that's crazy. Obviously, we've got it on ×3 speed because we're on 3-day months. So that's not going to necessarily work, but we're still going to be able to do them fairly quickly. Don't know how many we're going to get off the field. Do what we can. Yeah, that's the same here. It's weird because the other field, oh no, actually, well, maybe I did. I seem to have a lot more room. No, this isn't giving me much room here. So there we go. If I go pretty much right across the middle of that line, we should be golden. Right, I'll see you when the mowing's done. I don't know whether I'll mow this field then the next field, or whether, like, so I might do the hay field, I might do off camera. I don't know, I'm trying to work out the best way around of doing it, but it will give us hay bales on top of the silage bales we've got, which will be quite cool as well, because we haven't got any of those stored up anywhere. I might, like I say, I think we've got a Merge Max windrower. So what I might do is just use that and whiz around the outside and bring that outside edge that I've just done, all of these windrows, just in a little bit, so I don't have any problems, because otherwise sometimes the baler says you don't own the field and it won't bale it and that kind of thing, so you just have to be a bit more careful. It's nice using this though. What cool contracts. Now, as I said, I don't know what episode we're on now, 5, 6, 5, 6. There have been some problems, I have had some gaffes, we have had some issues with railroads, problems and that kind of thing, but being on hard mode so far has been a lot more pleasant than I thought it was going to be. Like I said, there have been some problems, but I thought it was going to be horrendous, but it hasn't been. You know, I've got a few bits of equipment, a few bits of machinery, I've got a little plot of land, we're going to put a building on it, we're making a bit of money, but then we're having to put the hours in to do that, so. Excellent. Well, here's a weird one for you. I'm now overcutting on field 31. Here's the thing. When I went round the field this direction, it only allowed me to cut this windrow here. If I went any further over, it said I didn't own the field, couldn't cut it, wasn't part of the contract. If I then changed direction and went round the field this way, it allowed me to go another strip out. So I went back around that field. Now, how much of that it will allow me to actually collect, how much of that it will allow me to windrow back in towards the field, I don't know. But it has allowed me, by going anti-clockwise around the field rather than clockwise, to cut further out for some reason. Don't know why, but it has. So I have managed to cut on both fields further out. I just thought I'd mention that at this point, because when I come to actually either windrowing, now on this one, yes, I am windrowing up with the big am, I've got it on swathing, but I do need to ted this. I don't mind tedding it, it's going to spread the windrows out a little bit again, but then I've got the windrower so I can bring them back in again. I thought rather than mucking around, switching it backwards and forwards between swathing and wide spreading, I might as well just do it all like this. So that's what I decided to do. I'm going to do another strip that way, and I'll carry on. But yeah, I just thought I'd point out we've managed to get some extra out of it. Again, on both fields, what that's going to equate to bale wise, I don't know, but we'll see. We are 5 minutes to 4 in the afternoon. The light is... Well, actually, we've got a bit of sunlight left. As you've seen, the mowing is done. Windrowing is done. The windrow worked perfectly, and I've brought everything into the edge of the field, so we should be fine. Field 31, the windrowing is done. I then tedded, and then I've windrowed again to make sure the tedded parts are now all windrowed up. I have left one strip over there, grass. The tedder and stuff is still over there. The reason behind that is, when I do this field, silage bales, I know I've got extra because I'm mowed further out, but you often find you'll get to a point where you've got the baler and you finish the field and you might be short by a fraction. You might get lucky and get an exactly full bale with a tiny little bit left over. I've often found I'm almost at a point where I could do another full bale, but I'm short by a few 100 litres or even 1,000 litres. So because silage bales are worth more than hay bales are, I've left a strip of grass there. If I get to a point where I've got almost a full bale, I can whiz over there, make up a full bale and do it as silage, which is worth more, and then when I do the hay baling, I'll probably have some hay bales left over, same as I have done with all the silage baling contracts. I'll just have one bale less because hay bales aren't worth as much. So that should work out. The other thing I want to do now is make sure this one we're on 125, 150, 180. We'll leave it on 125s. I'm going to leave that open because I want to keep up with the tally of bales on here. Let's get the lights on because it seems to be... So other than mod reviews, this is the first time of using this in anger. I'm looking forward to this. Have we got automatic drop? Turn on automatic drop. Yes, please. Pickup's pretty good on this. Oh wow, that was quick. Okay, do I want to change the bale size? No, I'd rather leave it at 3,500 again because it might give me a better option for getting a full bale, but also the flip side of that being that, the flip side that it just makes it, I don't know, I'll leave it at that. I probably could do larger bales and have less bales sitting around. We're going to get quite a lot of this, aren't we? I've just suddenly realised. Although my strip around the outside, there's a lot more in it because when I windrowed, I've got a lot more windrowed in, as you can see from the outside, windrowed right into here. The inner windrows won't give us as much, but that's crazy. I mean, fast is not the word. Yeah, that's a lot of bales. I've got a lot of, at least the other field, it's square. Well, I say square bales and their hay. This one I've got to wrap them all as well. I'll tell you what I did, which I don't really do very often, but when I did the last baling contract, and I didn't record any of it, when I was doing the wrapping, I set the speed of, so my cruise control was set at 4 miles an hour, so I just gradually rolled around the field. Oh no, I've done it again, I've got to be careful of that, I'm missing bits. Yeah, I gradually rolled around the field, picked up a bale, and I was working out the speed I could go at, so by the time I got to the next bale, the first bale had wrapped. Not that, I mean, it's as long as it's short, because you can either... Yeah, you can either whiz up to the next bale, pick it up, whiz over to the next one, and then wait for it to finish wrapping and drop it off. I just find, you know, like I say, it really doesn't make a lot of difference, because you're still going to sit there regardless, but I just found it... I find it a little bit frustrating to sit and have to wait, so it's just impatience, I suppose. It's weird how you can have certain situations, well, I'll do stuff where I'm not impatient at all, and I can do a job that can take absolutely ages, and it doesn't bother me in the slightest. I love the fact this is self-propelled. It's so much easier for manoeuvring it around to pick up odd little bits here and there, and where I've got the ends or starts of rows, they're quite thick, so just backing up and getting some more in there. We have got a lot of bales. Yeah, this, I need to get onto the rows because this end stuff is eating into my time. Right, let's go. So once we get this outer row done, it'll be a lot quicker. Any bits I miss, I'll come back for. The only problem I've got is this is a lot steeper than the other hills I've done, so I'm going to get a lot of bale rolling here, I think. Got to be careful. And I will pick up any errant bits of grass because it can make the difference at the end between a full bale or not. Not that I'm short of silage bales, we've got quite a lot, but you know what? I know I'm doing baling again, but like I said, it's big boy stuff. Big boys' toys. And if I get to a point where I've got my own farm and I'm good to go, I've already got a ton of silage bales, which I can either sell or use for a top mix ration or take to the biogas plant or whatever I want to do with them. I spoke to the mayor again. There's that concern with the baling situation, and I've had a couple of messages back and forwards. I don't remember if I spoke about it or not in the last episode or on this one. There's a potential problem, either giants with the trains, and that in the various different updates, for some reason, it's spitting out contracts that it can't complete, or there's a potential that there's a mod conflict. And I said it could be the open gardens. Someone else suggested, what did they say it could be, that's causing the conflict, and it's why it keeps flicking out baling contracts to go by train, which it can't really do unless you do loose product. So that's the other way around it, shredding your bales. If it's asking for hay bales and you can't do it in bale form, you can do the baling on the field, but then put it in loose into one of the train cars, and it will probably complete it. And the same with the silage. It's the cotton situation. A few people have said they haven't had any contracts come up for cotton to go to Mount Vernon. All of theirs have come up saying to go to the spinnery, but it could be they don't have open gardens installed or one of the other mods. So yeah, it'll be a little bit, the mayor's looking at ways of allowing for it, but the problem is if it is a mod conflict, there's nothing the mayor can do. Does that make sense? Everything's bug free. The mayor has assured me everything's bug free, so it's not that situation. Wow, this is crazy. 13 bales now. I haven't even done one strip around the outside yet. Okay, I'm going to see in a little bit once I've done the outside strip, because this is taking quite a long time. I'm going to just gather up the odds and ends that I've missed so far. I reckon we're going to have in excess of 60, 70 bales off this one. I'm thinking. That's quite scary actually. I did go and get a little bit of grass from over another field just to finish off the bale. We got 96, I was way off on 70. 96 bales that I now need to wrap. That's going to be That's going to take a while as well. And then that last little bit of grass that I left on the other field needs to be tedded, and then I need to do the hay baling over there. But this is my first priority, getting all this done. We are starting to lose the light. I didn't really want to finish this in the dark, but the only other option I've got is if I finish it tomorrow. Cruise control speeds, this is what I was doing, although my gap on the run around the outside is going to be, let's put it on 2 miles an hour and see how that works. So if I drive forward, we'll get that one. Where's that not? It's weird. There we go. And put the cruise control on. So at 2 miles an hour, by the time we get to the next one, I know it's a slow thing, and the thing is if you get bigger gaps you just speed it up. Oh, there you go. That went a little bit quicker. I need automatic drop on. Let's try forward a bit faster to that one, see if it works better on the next one. If it's too slow, then I'll just knock it up to 3, and then on the big gap. So all the way around the outside, as you can see, the amount of bales we've got are quite tightly packed. But then on the other ones, actually it's going to work perfectly. By the time that drops off, comes back down, we're ready for the next one. There we go. Yeah, so on the other strips, not the one around the outside, I think we were getting a bale every 3rd one, I think. Does that make sense? So around the outside, the easy way of saying it, around the outside we've got 3 times as many bales as the rest of the strips. Actually that's worked out quite good. So for the outer ring, this is how we'll go. It's going to take a while, but it's got a wrap anyway regardless. And then for the strips on the inside I'll probably knock it up to 3 or 4 miles an hour, and the gap should be better. Go forward a little bit faster. Anyone that I'm a little bit too short on, we'll just do that. Knock it on again. And I can always knock it down to 1 mile an hour if I want to. Another reason why having the side panel was such a boon. Yeah, I should have knocked it down a little bit. Simply because you had the rolling dial on the side panel, so you could just knock it up and down on that. It was so much easier. Didn't really want to leave that there, but it's okay. This is weird, I don't normally have much trouble hooking up to these, or picking them up. There we go. So, oh, we've got a little bit of grass there, missed that. I will see you, well, 90 odd bales later. We'll get some delivered. Once I've done the first load I can work out how many it's going to take to complete the contract. Let's knock that down 1. Okay, it's just gone 6 o'clock. Everything's baled. First load of 24 bales is on the trailer. We've got rain coming, and it's got much darker. I'm not going to get this completed before I lose the light completely. Plus the rain's coming. So I think what I'm going to do is take this up the top of the hill, and then I'm going to sort out tedding the last bit on here, baling this, and then we might have to finish these off in the morning, because I don't want to be finishing off in the dark, and obviously visually, but also for me doing it, it becomes an absolute nightmare doing it in the dark. So what I'm probably going to do is, like I say, ted out the last bit, windrow the last bit that we've got, then bale it. This one just needs baling, not wrapping, but obviously the hay bales could get wet. And then delivery. Both sets of bales are going to Larson's farm, Larson's livestock. So we'll have to just kind of see where that takes us. I was really hoping to get this done. The problem I've got is doing, well, I suppose how it will be in the real world. You know, you run out of daylight, and that's what's happened. We've run out of daylight. Any contract, any job, especially on the larger fields, if you take on any of these jobs or contracts mid-afternoon. Lunchtime's not too bad, but mid-afternoon, especially larger contracts that take a bit of time, you're not going to finish them before it gets dark, especially running the way I'm doing it on, if you're running the ×3, ×5, whatever you're running. So yeah, it becomes a little bit of a problem. And if I wasn't doing this for a video, I would carry on into the dark. But it would still be nice to see me delivering some of the bales. Otherwise, yeah, it's just all pitch black. Remembering that adage, save everything, save every time you're going to do something different. I'm always nervous or worried. I know on previous versions, I don't think it does it anymore, that if a contract rolled over into the next day and you hadn't completed it, the contract disappeared. I don't think it does that anymore. I'm pretty sure it doesn't, but I still save. I'll save it and then I'll go through to the next morning expecting the contracts to have gone. So it's just one of those weird things, like I do when I save the game. I always do a double save. Don't know why, still do it. Rather than just saving once, double save every time. Because, you know, what if the first save doesn't work? Why it wouldn't, I have no idea, but it's still a habit you kind of get into doing. So that's what I'll probably do. I'll get a little bit more done. We'll get this bit. No, that would help if I was on the correct side of the actual windrow, wouldn't it? The merge max. I think I've got it set to middle now. When I was doing around the outsides, I had it set left or right, depending which way around I was going, to bring it all as far in as I possibly could. But now for tidying up, I'm pretty sure, yeah, I've just got it on middle. And then what I'll do, I'll start baling this, although it's getting dark, and then I'll probably see you in the morning. While I've been doing all this, the guys have come in to make a start on constructing the shelter. Our barn, no, it's a shelter. So hopefully by the morning that'll be complete as well. I think the one I've chosen, I'm not sure I'll get many bales under it, but like I say, the silage bales are fine, they're wrapped, they can stay outside, but if I have any hay bales left over, the only problem I've got now is if it does pour down the rain. Maybe they'll dry by the morning, who knows. So we're good to go as far as baling. Let's fold that completely. I'll grab the square baler and we'll whiz around and get that done too. Let's just drop that there. Got a nice big old baler, a fancy new case. I've already opened it up, but we should be good to go. We're going to do this on, yep, 180s. And this is the only problem as well with going, especially with hay, it depends what the ground texture's like. But when you're doing it in the dark, if you miss bits, it's a lot harder to see. So these are going to be 5,000 litre bales, aren't they, with the square one? And going around the outside is going to be a bit of a problem, isn't it? Because again, the swaths around the outside are much bigger. So I'm going to have a lot more areas where I'm going to miss stuff. So I'm going to need to come back. Again, it doesn't hurt. I know what I'm doing. But I just need to double check. Field 31, dry it with a tedder, bale it. Yep, it's hay. And that one's definitely silage. So I just want to, you know, because I'm using the equipment from both contracts on sort of each other's fields. I just have to make sure I'm doing it correctly. It's just before 7 o'clock in the morning. We're on October 2. I got a bit overexcited last night and I did carry on, but have no fear, we've still got loads of bales to collect. The bales that were all over to the right, that were outside of the cooperative, I have moved. The new, well actually it was not a new shelter, it's a shelter that was transplanted from elsewhere and bought here. Still got the sugar beet contract, and some more contracts have become available. However, I took the liberty of bringing down some of the bales and already selling off. So there are my round bales that I had from previous contracts. There are my square bales I had from previous contracts, and there's my shelter. Like I say, transplanted over. It's not a new shelter. It's new to me. 10 grand. That's why the money went down. Hopefully by now the spinnery would have processed the cotton that went in from ages ago. So I can put the rest in and hopefully recover some of that money that I lost on that contract. I would like to say I'm having deselected the open gardens. I've got a contract that's popped up now for cotton, and it says to the spinnery rather than Mount Vernon. So that could potentially be what's causing the problem. It could be the Tana gardens with the train contracts. But yeah, these have popped up now. So the corn one was there. We've got that one for cotton, that one for soybean, and there's one for ploughing as well. But we've got these to complete. So here's what I did. I brought down one full load of 24. That's already gone in. That came up saying 48% delivered. So I did my calculations. That worked out 2% per bale, which means another 26 bales should complete the contract. So this 24 should put us close, then it'll be 2 more, should be contract complete. Now that's of 96 bales. So again, quick maths, 24 and 26 is 50. That should leave me 46 bales, if that's correct. Over here, with the hay bales, I delivered one full load of... What is it? I did one full load of 14. That came up saying 69% of that contract complete, which puts it at about 5% per bale, which means that just over 6 bales, I think it's like 6.2 bales required, so 7 bales should complete that contract, and that should leave me with 13 bales of hay left, I think. So all we can do is try that. So we'll go back up to the field after we've delivered these. Contracts didn't disappear at midnight. That must have... I don't know why I've got that in my head. That's got to be previous, prior FS, hasn't it, I think. So let's unload here. I've left myself enough room for that to go down. I have. Must be about there, I think. 97% complete. Yeah, so that should be 2 more bales and that'll be complete. So we'll whiz up, we'll get those 2 bales and we'll get those back. But then it means I've got all the rest of the bales to collect and bring down and put here. We're going to have a load of silage bales. That's amazing. That's going to keep us going a while. And then, like I say, should be another... Well, this should be... Actually, this should complete this one, shouldn't it? Not quite sure how that ends up there, but okay. That could be a problem. Will it take that one straight off the front? No. Wonder if it'll unload it. I still don't have anything with forks. Oh, actually, no, it's a new day. It's a new day. We need to check what's for sale. Oh, that's not bad. That planter for 35 grand. There was the Kinsey one that was here. I don't have 35 grand at the moment, but that's a really good price. I wonder how long that side stay. God, the cows are taken over from Farm Dog, aren't they? They seem to have something to say. Oh, there you go. That's right. So, this should now be contract complete on this one. But I'm not going to complete on the contract because I still need the stuff and I still need the bales on the field. The good thing is with 13 left, contract on field 31 finished. Oh, it's good to see my maths is working. My mathematics. So, I will bring those 13 back down and we will store them, which is awesome. And then, well, I think what I'll do the silage bales first, just so we can get an idea of just how many there are on the field. And then, because I want to complete them as quickly as possible, because I don't want all these contracts to disappear. So, the good thing with the ploughing one is, I mean, it's only 946 to borrow the equipment. It'll take a while, though, I would imagine, because that's not a massive plough. So, getting to a point where I can buy my own plough, ones that are bigger, wider, I can get jobs like that done. Not quite. Still haven't had any weeding contracts come up, which is a bit interesting. And then I want to pick up that corn contract if I can. I want it But the trouble is, that's on times 3. I feel like I'm racing the clock all the time because if I can't get these off the field. It's another reason why I did some of the work last night, because I wanted to make sure that I got as much of it done as I could. Because when I woke up this morning, I was worried that if I had a load of contracts or any real choice ones that I wanted, that by the time I'd finished doing the baling, they'd have disappeared. Hopefully they won't. Hopefully they'll still be there, because we're in the window for those contracts. I think for October and November for those. So I'll see up the field in a moment. Let's get the next one. It seems a bit daft. I've got 2 to bring down, but I'll bring those 2 down. And then I'll probably see you again when I've got all the bales brought down and unloaded at our yard. And then that'll be those 2 big boy baling contracts done. I need to somehow get those cotton bales into the sell point now. I don't know what the price of cotton is looking like at the moment. Okay, not looking too bad with the hay bales. $13. Cool, so that's just shy of 1 full load, which means I can get it all done in one go. But as you can see with the silage bales, we got a few. So I just need to grab 2. I know it seems ridiculous. If I had a wheel loader, skid steer loader, something like that, I would take a full load, unload them at my point, then grab 2 bales from it. But I haven't. So I haven't really got a lot of choice at the moment. This is ridiculous, 2 bales. Oh well. Look at that lot. So these 2 bales complete the contract, all of that is mine. Hopefully this will complete this, then I'll just go, I'll gather all the bales up and get them back down. But I'll do that off camera. Just want to see if my maths is right on the calculations here. If it is, we are golden. And those bales, then I can do what I want. I can sell them as silage, I can keep them for doing Tomic's ration, you know. It's all up to me. Contract finished. What a legend. Why does that sound wrong? No one calls themselves a legend, do they? I'm such a legend. No, that just doesn't sound right, does it? Both baling contracts are now completed, and I have taken on 2 more. So we had the sugar beet harvest, which I'm going to do first. I've taken on the corn harvest, and I've taken on that ploughing one. Because I haven't done any ploughing yet, so I thought I would. Cotton I can't touch yet. That one's an interesting one. It's only worth 103. And I don't know really how much soybean I would get myself off that. Probably not very much at all, if anything at all. That one and that one are both to Mount Vernon. Now, when I did the contract before off to Mount Vernon, I kept back 10% and it wasn't enough. I had to take another bit, about 1/3 of that. So I'm thinking, if I hold back on the next contract 7%, if I work out how much I've got in the silo and I hold back 7% of that for me and then deliver, I can get a really good idea going to Mount Vernon just how much, so that I haven't got to keep doing that. It goes and it's not enough and I have to do another load and, you know, doing little bits. I might have to drop it to 6%, but if there is an amount, a percentage I can hold back on each contract, because you don't get paid for any extra on that. Unlike when you sell it at sell points, where you get paid for any crop over and above, by the train you don't. Don't ask me how I got those in. It was I got the trailer backed in, then opened it up under this bit here, and it just, honestly, it squeaked in. I thought the whole lot was going to topple over, but I was right. We had 46 bales left over. So our first stack that came out to about here, that's the first lot there, isn't it? There. And then we got, that one's got full 24 and that one's got 22. So we've got a lot of silage bales. Very happy. We're doing all right. We've got our own plot of land. We've got hay bales, silage bales. Got a few bits of equipment. All the equipment for the contracts that I've now taken on are here and ready to go. I've done a bit of moving things around. What I can do now, before I go off and start my sugar beeting, is move my equipment over. Oh, I'm not going to lie. One of the contracts I did, which one was it for? It was for sorghum down on field. I can't remember what it was. Was it 3-2? No, whichever it was. I took this over, and it ran. The gearbox was a little bit iffy. It needs some work. You know what? I might repair it now. Actually, we've got some money. It gets up to speed. As soon as I put any weight in the trailer, it wouldn't go above 3 miles an hour. Now, I don't know if that's a problem with the tractor, and if it is, I'm gutted because that was a really good buy. Yeah, there we go, look. Hang on. Let's go again, see if it'll go up. Oh, okay, we wouldn't go above 8 miles an hour, so I'm wondering if we've got a gearbox issue with this. So we'll repair it and see if that makes a difference. And I'm going to move my equipment over into my new shed. And then the next episode, we've got more harvesting to do. Hopefully I hear back from the mayor. I'm not expecting the mayor to put anything in. I'm not expecting the mayor to do anything or change anything. Just whether or not can have permission maybe to maybe put one in if we can, sort of get something in somewhere that will allow us to sell the extra cotton bales. If it's just a temporary thing, I don't know. It's, like I said, it's the only problem with the contract thing. Oh, I've got to find where, because I haven't done anything here yet. Not that one, that one. Oh, I'm standing there. How much to repair? 312. We can afford that. Whether that's going to solve the problem or not, who knows? It could be another one of those situations that it's the manual. I've got it on automatic, but it's a manual gearbox. I know that was a problem with one of the other tractors, wasn't it? It's what happens when you buy cheap stuff. I thought it would be awesome. Yeah, so that's not touching the ground. I was worried that the front was hitting the ground. Yeah, look, it's doing it now. Now I've got that hooked up and it's empty. It won't go above 3 miles an hour. Okay. Is it between that and the trailer? I need to check this. Will it work with my fertilizer sprayer? So it does the same with that, then we've got a problem. That's alright. Must be a problem with the trailer. That's peculiar. Oh, the trailer was cheap as well. Yeah, that's working fine. Okay, we might have to give that some thought. Nope, now it's stuck again. Oh no. No, it's stuck at 5. There we go. Hang on. Could it be the trailer needs repair as well? Could that be why? Maybe. I'll have a fiddle around. Well, anyway, that's our big boy baling complete. We are done. I'm happy. We've done really well out of that. So not only we've done alright pay-wise, it took a while, of course it did. Curious to see actually what our hours are up to now. 37. Okie dokie. Yeah, 37 hours. Well, to be expected. We've been doing a lot of contract work. I might take the trailer and get it repaired. Yeah, so on the next episode, sugar beet and corn. I don't forget the ploughing done. I'm not sure I'll get it all done in one episode because it takes a while for some of the harvesting, depending on the size of the field, especially the sugar beet. That will take a while. So I don't know whether I might be better off. And now I've got a bit of land, I've got a shelter, whether or not I can hire a worker. So maybe I can get the sugar beet going with a worker, and I'll concentrate on the corn maybe. I'm just, what it's charging for fees, I'm not earning enough for that to be viable. Yeah, the trailer needs repair as well. It could be the trailer, couldn't it? You know what, I want to check that before it come on. It took me a week to get there with this speed. You know what, I'll do something. I'm going to borrow this. I just want to see if before I end the episode, I want to see if it's the trailer that's causing the problem. It could be the brakes are binding or something, you know. I'm sure this will pull it, no problem at all. Of course. Repair 226. Let's see before we finish. I'll tell you what I will say. Sometimes it's not always as easy to tell. If you're using one vehicle, then you move to another vehicle. If you're going between a tractor and a pickup, or a tractor and a bicycle, you know. But when I moved the for the ploughing contract, we got a Deutz-Fahr Warrior. The engine sound on that was so different. It sounds incredible. Come on, fingers crossed it was just that. If not, I have to keep my eyes open for a new. Thought it hooked up. Apparently not. I thought it was putting well. Maybe it was that. Just the fact the tractor and the trailer both needed some work. Maybe the brakes were binding on the trailer. It could have been that. Well, it's pulling right at the moment, so fingers crossed moving forward. We can't put a front loader attacher on this tractor, but if we get another cheap tractor, I still want to get that case. I want to go up at Webb's scrapyard. Oh, I've still got to make an offer on the Jeep as well, didn't I? Say 15 grand. I want to buy that too. Now I was offered the Kubota was 35 grand. I'm wondering if I could offer him 25. For the case, or 30, do you reckon? 25, yeah, maybe 30 grand. What have I hit? Oh, the post. Yeah, whether I could offer him 30 grand for that case. It's going to need a bit of work, it needs a bit of a clean up. But this is where we're going to end it. So, I hope you found it interesting. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free, and if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.